Tell big dude. Tell big dude. Don't big dude. She said boogie, boy stop. I'm not your last. No. That's your past. I'm big.
I wish, man. I wish.
Not your last. No. That's your past. I'm Big Daddy, smash quicker. Little mama fine, where you been, yo? Bigger. Booty scribe,
welcome Baltimore. Welcome Baltimore.
Big dude.
I'm your host, Harry Gray.
And I'm your co-host, Coach Ed.
And we are Changing Baltimore. Thank you for another episode. Thank you for another episode, another week here on your Facebook podcast. Love to see you here, Coach Said. Thank you so much for being here.
Sir. God willing.
Yep. I wanted to definitely give a shout out to our sponsors to start the show. Tone Drone LLC.
Tone Drone.
Brainstream Media. Mo's Famous Seafood. And Whole Body Health Care.
Whole Body.
Yep. So we definitely want to give a shout out to Anthony Pay, TJ, Brainspring. Happy birthday.
Oh, man.
You know, so he's not here tonight, but, you know, we're going to try to have a good show.
Happy birthday, Liberace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, again, man, the 2 weeks that, you know, we've been off, man, a lot of things been happening. Said, you know, tell me how your, you know, week has been.
Man, it's been, you know what I mean, it's kind of slow, but, you know, it's been productive. Back and forth, you know, work and coaching and trying to get back into the swing of things, man. Football season is creeping up, man. I can't wait either. God.
Yeah, it's definitely it. That's one of the topics that we definitely want to talk about tonight. Are we doing too much youth football? Are we handcuffing our kids? Or, you know, do we need to do a little more here in Baltimore?
Spring crack.
But I know definitely what happened. I believe it was Easter. I want to say maybe a little after Easter. You know, our youth is still doing what our youth is doing, which is, you know, a lot of people were shot down the harbor. One of our kids at Mervo was shot 4 times. He's doing okay, I believe. You know, with the grace of God, he's still here. But it's getting to a point where, as adults, I think we have to start paying more attention to what our kids are doing. As a parent, I think we now need to really start to parent. We need to start to ask those questions that we don't want to ask. You know, ask your child, where you going? Sometimes it's good to say no. You know, if you hear on social media, you hear on the news that, hey, kids are planning to do this and that, and it's negative, why not tell your kid, I don't want you there. You can't go. Or, you know, be home at a certain time. I just think we are at a point right now where we're not parenting anymore. We just want to be friends. And that thing that we had back 10, 15, 20 years ago where we said we are a village, we're no longer a village. And I think our kids have gotten to a point where they just, you know, they're lost. And it seems like, you know, they're raising themselves. What you feel about that, Sad?
Well, you know, it amazed me how a couple hundred, maybe almost 1,000 kids get on social media and say they're going down the harbor and don't nobody know about it, don't no parents know about it. Like, how does that happen? Like, and, you know, so, but it was mixed feelings from what I heard. I mean, some people said that when the kids were down there, they wasn't really doing, or, you know, it wasn't that bad as people made it out to seem. You had a couple people that was down there acting a fool, of course, but for the most part, I heard a couple adults said that they was down there at a concert, said that, you know, the kids wasn't as bad as the media said they were. So I don't know, man, but.
Well, when I think we had 4, 6 people that got shot, how's that not bad?
At that particular time?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I think as a city, as a community, we have grown numb. We have said, you know, kids are kids. We use the excuse COVID. We also use that old excuse of it's nothing for the kids to do. It's a lot for them to do. Go to school, you know, get good grades, play a sport, join the club. But again, I think we are at a point where, and you know, we're not going to harp on this a lot, but we're at a point where I think sometimes parents are tired. I think sometimes parents are at a point where they really don't know how to parent in this society. So whether you are young, whether you are a single parent, and you just at a point where you just say, hey, I'm fed up, we still have to be able to talk to our kids. We got to be able to say no.
Yeah, but where's the fathers at in this whole deal, right? Like, for instance, the 12-year-old kid, right? And everybody's kind of talking about this kid, but where was his father? Now, I understand that, you know, if the single parent, the mom got to go to work, and so really you're expecting that kid to kind of, or trusting him to kind of raise himself almost, right? Because, of course, she had more pressing things to do. She got to pay the bills, right? But where the dudes at, man? Where the fathers at in these boys' lives, man?
Yeah.
Like, where, I mean, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, even though this kid was living by the sword. But, you know, like, where was, you know, some positive male role models in his life? I mean, it amazed me, man.
Yeah, and say I kind of want to piggyback on that. We say, where's the fathers? We need more dads. You know, the father can pick you up, take pictures with you on the holidays, put you on social media, buy you this, buy you that. But the fathers, they do what I guess they're supposed to do. But the dads is the ones that do what they're supposed to do, and they go beyond. And we don't have enough of those. You know, we rather sit back and light up and spark that blunt. We rather to go ahead and put that Henny or that Cavassier or that Casamigos, you know, in our cup and brag about the women or the girls that we have or the partying that we're doing. Like right now, the thing is, let's look at Hulu and see what's on Freaknik, you know, and we want to talk about that, but we don't want to talk about how we should be raising our kids or coming up with a solution to even channel or even structure a kid's life. And that's why my hat goes out to a lot of coaches that are out here because they sit back and they invest in these kids, the good ones, the good coaches. You know, yourself, Keon Carpenter, those guys that spend countless numbers of hours away from their own family to make sure that everybody else, kids, are doing well, and they're not out here murdering, robbing, stealing, causing havoc in our communities. So, you know, my hat goes off to them. So I know some people should have a I guess, a point of view or some comments to that, definitely give us a call, 410-417-7067. And I know that, the topic that, we started the show off with is something that we have talked about countless numbers of times since we had this show. But this is coming up more and more. Trust and believe me, the weather is getting warm. So you as an adult may think, hey, I'm safe, I'm good. You're not safe. You're not good. Stop ignoring what these kids are doing. And as I said before, we don't do things, we don't say things, we don't worry about things until they hit our doorstep. Once it hits our doorstep, then we want to say, what can we do to help this situation?
Well, Coach, they don't have to, because at this point right now, Ivan Bates is definitely going to. So you can ignore it all you want to, but Mr. Bates said he ain't ignoring it. And with him, he already trying to start stop and frisk. They trying to implement that as we speak. So, yeah, just keep ignoring your kid and these young men out here today and not checking on them and see what they doing in their pastime. But Ivan Bates said he will. He's going to really check on them.
Yep. And again, we have our mayor that's coming on in 2 weeks, our next show, May the 1st. So he's already confirmed he'll be here. Those are some of the questions that, we're going to ask. And I know he's going to have some solutions to some of our issues. So again, have any questions, comments, concerns, give us a call, 410-417-7067. And we'll be right back with our first segment, our first guest, Miss Keisha Blake from I Am Me Project. We'll be right back in 1 minute.
1 minute.
This is our Back on Track unit. It is a fully automated axial and bilateral spine decompressor. Over time, the spine can wear out, causing pain and discomfort. It decompresses the spine with limited straps, which allow more movement and a better stretch within the spine. Through this movement, pressure is relieved from between the discs. It functions by stretching the spine. This movement relieves scar tissue and allows the spine's natural fluid to lubricate itself. This unit comes with 21 different settings to choose from, including a heat and vibration setting that can be added in order to enhance the treatment. Our staff is trained to operate this treatment on a needed basis. If you or someone you know may benefit from the Back on Track unit, call us today to schedule your appointment. This is our...
Welcome back, Baltimore. Again, I'm your host, Harry Gray.
And I'm your co-host, Coach Sid.
And we are Changing Baltimore.
Changing Baltimore.
Sponsored by Tone Drone LLC.
Smokey Robinson.
Brainstream Media. Mo's Famous Seafood. And Whole Body Health Care.
Whole Body.
And right before we get to our first guest, I definitely want to shout out Whole Body Health Care. Anybody is listening to this show, watching this show, share this show, trust me, if you have any ailments, back, knee, leg, arm, shoulder, neck, you really need to check out Whole Body Health Care. And I'm not just saying that because they are one of our sponsors. I'm saying it because, I've been there for physical therapy, and they did a great job on me. I've been there like 3 times. These people definitely treat you right, and it's a family-type atmosphere. So before you go anywhere else, at least talk to them, check them out, look at our commercial that we have for them. There'll be a guest sometime soon so they can tell you what they do and how they do it when they do it.
And offer the holistic treatment, too.
Exactly. So that's great. So, okay, so now we're going to get the show started. you know, each week we try to bring guests on that definitely helps the community and kind of helps what we're talking about, what we're trying to do here at Change of Baltimore. We're just not a show. We want to bring people on and highlight actually what they're doing in the community. And this, you know, today is no different. So I want to definitely tonight bring on and give a shout out and talk and find out what she's doing. Phenomenal young lady. Again, she's the founder of I Am Me Project, Miss Keisha Blake.
Miss Blake.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Change in Baltimore, and we appreciate being called out and just giving information about our organization.
So first question, Keisha, tell me, how did you start this, and you know, what was the goal and the premise of, you know, your vision?
Okay. So the IME Project is a nonprofit organization in Baltimore, and we was founded in 2015. We started out as a just doing a vision board party for adult women, and then we quickly switched over throughout the years to a nonprofit organization for young ladies ages 11 to 18. We empower, we educate, and we inspire young ladies as they embark upon the journey of understanding who am I to who I am. So that just basically means that we help them to increase all their self-concepts. In 2015, we realized and understood that a lot of times adult women will say, this is my New Year's resolution, but then by the 31st, that New Year's resolution kind of dwindles and nothing happens. So we started a vision board party, and that vision board party, we realized, okay, we're working with the mothers and we're working with these adult women, but these things start as teenagers. It starts usually when teenage girls go into middle school, and that's when, as we know, hormonally, we change as young girls. We hit a lot of the peer pressures. We get a lot of, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I like to do. I don't even understand what's going on with me and my body. And so that's when we began to start working with young ladies in middle school. So we work with young ladies 11 to 18 years old, and that's how we started.
Okay, so now, my mic shut off? Mic check. Okay, now back on. Thanks, Stone.
Check.
So, you know, how many young ladies and women are you serving right now? And tell me some of the troubles that you had getting things started and some of the things that you have right now, some of the troubles.
Okay. So as you know, there are barriers to a lot of programming here in Baltimore City and around the world, period. So the young ladies that we currently serve, we currently have a program going on. It's called Let's Talk. That's our main program, Let's Talk. And the series right now for the next 8 weeks is called Express Yourself series. And we are serving currently, we had open registration for 15 young ladies, 10 young ladies signed up. And we have had consistently 4 young ladies to actually come out to the program every week. Okay. So when you talk about problems in just the programming itself, it's not necessarily the sign-up portion of it. Sometimes it's actually the barrier of getting to the program. So what we realize and what we notice is that if a program is not connected to a school, like maybe an after-school program, the barrier is sometimes transportation for parents. So we know that parents don't all drive, and a lot of programs don't always have those vouchers to get children to and from their program. So we started with our program in an after-school program, Guilford Elementary Middle School, and the numbers were really, really much better because the kids could come straight after school and their parent would either pick them up or they were walking home from school, right? But once we did it for the community after COVID happened, the numbers for the young people coming in as registered, they would register, but then they don't consistently come. And that's because one of those barriers is transportation.
Gotcha. So how many schools are you currently in right now?
So currently we aren't in any school. So we will be working this fall to get back into the school system. So one of the things that happened with COVID is that, as you know, because you work in school systems as well, but one of the things that happened in COVID is that some of the teachers aren't there, and so they need a lot of volunteers, but sometimes it's a little hard to come in as an enrichment program and or an after-school program.
And I think, you know, I know being at the high school level right now, and I see a lot of mentors or mentees. And one of the challenges that I see with any program that's coming into schools, the kids do not trust the people that's coming in. So tell me how you gain the trust of these young ladies.
100% building relationships. That's what any relationship or any program should be doing, is creating safe spaces. So that's the one thing, is that you're creating a safe space. And what I mean by a safe space is understanding that, yes, you may be an adult. For instance, I'm an adult, but you have to remember what you were doing and the things that you were doing when you were younger, when you was that age, right? We aren't that far removed. So one of the things so one of the things we have to always do is we always have to, that trust factor comes in building relationships. So not always having that attitude of I know better, or I'm telling you what to do, but just really relating to these students, these participants, and the people that you're serving. So one of the things that we always do is we meet them where they are. So we're not just like, oh, if we see somebody, oh, you shouldn't wear this or you shouldn't wear that. Well, a lot of times when young ladies have on the short skirt or they have this, they think of it as a fashion. They thinking of it as expressing themselves. And that's the one thing that we want to do, is show young ladies that you can express yourself, but it's also a way that you can make sure that you're being safe. Because no, we're not responsible with how somebody else might look at us, a older man or something like that, but we do have to make sure that the things that we're doing is keeping us safe. So the way that we build those relationships, that's how we gain their trust.
Yeah, and I truly believe that we must really teach and nurture our kids at a young age. So once they do get to the high school level, it's more honestly about teaching, and it's about enhancing everything that you learn at a young age. And I think the problem that we have in the school system right now is that step is being missed. So once we get to high school, we're still trying to teach them certain things. They're still kids because no one has really sat and talked to them, say, this is how a young lady is supposed to be. This is how a young man is supposed to be. We don't even do those type of activities anymore, and it's more of A, B, C, what's his algebraic, equation, and it's straight to work. And I think that's one of the issues that we face in certain schools, especially the middle school area, where everyone says day one when they walk into your classroom, teach. And you don't have an opportunity to build those relationships. So what I'm seeing, especially in our hallways in the high school level, that the kids really don't have a relationship with a lot of the teachers. They have it with the hall monitors, because those are the ones that you will sit. They're the ones that are going to tell you to get out the hall. They're going to be the ones that ask you what's going on. They're the ones that see you crying. They see all the anger, and they take the time to say, hey, wait a minute, I need to intervene to see what's going on. So sometimes when a kid is hall walking, that's their safe place. Because most of them will go straight to an adult. But, we need more programs, like your program, to come into these schools. But we have to attack these issues, male and female, at a younger age. But we have to keep it going. And I know sometimes when that dollar fades away, we tend to get away from that kid and move to the next one. So again, I applaud what you do, how you're doing it, but tell everyone how they can get in contact with you, and how definitely if they have a female or even as a parent, how can they get into the program?
Okay. So you said a whole lot right there. It was a lot. And again, with that building on relationships, we also got to understand and remember that it's a team effort, right? So while we're a program, a nonprofit organization, and we can partner with schools, we also have to remember a lot of times the turnover at these schools. So the turnovers from teachers. So you're not really building those relationships if one semester I have this teacher and the next semester I don't have the same teacher. So the only person that's really a consistent or a constant person there is those hall monitors. And if most of the times I'm cutting class and I'm in the hall, I'm going to get to know that person the most. So what we have to remember is that we have to learn how to walk alongside of these children, these students. And if I feel safe with the homeowner, because that's why I am most of the time, right? Then that's who I'm going to naturally gravitate to. A lot of times we deal with traumas throughout. So whether it's a child, a parent, whoever the case may be, we have to know how to approach these students, no matter who you are. And we also need to understand and be trained in these different skills. Because I can see you crying in the corner, but if I don't know how to even deal with what you're crying about, what kind of help am I going to be? But sometimes it's just a support and listening. So one of the ways that you can get in contact with the IME Project and myself, Keisha Blake, and I have an awesome team. I just want to shout my team out. Thank you so much to all of our board members, everyone that volunteered with the program. You can contact us at the imeproject.org, info@imeproject.org if you ever want to volunteer. And then we are also on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we are currently doing our programming at libraries. So we are at Northwood Library. We have a partnership with them. And you can call us directly, 443-317-9767. And our programming is free to our participants. So there is no cost for our participants to come in and to do our programming. We just ask that you be consistent, and when we ask those questions on registration, we just want to make sure that your child is going to be there, because one session builds off the next session, and it builds off the next session. And what we are doing is we are building those relationships, and we are mentoring, and we want to increase that social-emotional learning, right? And so the only way we can do that is if your child is present. And so we need to make sure that we have that dedication from parents as well as our participants. And so we thank you again for allowing us to come and talk about the IME Project.
Great organization. Please reach out, support, volunteer. IME Project, that's a great name. Again, this young lady, I've known her for almost 20 years now. Great, I've seen it grow.
Yeah.
Please support, because we don't have a lot of African-American women out here that's doing what she's doing and trying to reach out to these young ladies. So again, thank you, Ms. Blake, for coming on. We definitely want to have you come on again. And again, imeproject.org.
Yeah.
Reach on Instagram or Facebook. Give her a call. Reach out. Please support. Thank you again for coming on. And Changing Baltimore, we'll be right back within 1 minute.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So, if we're talking about arthritis, there can be all sorts of things we can do. We do regenerative medicine that involves stem cell or human cell tissue products that have stem cells, that have hyaluronic acid, that have cytokines, which are proteins that help the body regenerate and rebuild. There's PRP, platelet-rich plasma. So it's a simple procedure. It's using your own body's innate healing abilities, and we draw blood from you. We fill up a test tube. We spin it in a centrifuge for about 10 minutes, and that creates a separation. We have the red platelets are at the bottom, and at the top is a serum. In that serum, again, are regenerative properties of your own body in that serum that we re-inject it back into an arthritic joint or a damaged joint or damaged tissue. That creates a healing response. See, what you've done is you concentrate many of your body's proteins and its own cells that help in repair. And by concentrating it, you get a natural reaction that your body wants to rebuild and repair this area.
Welcome back, Baltimore. Welcome back. I'm your host, Harry Gray.
And your co-host, Coach Sid.
And we are Changing Baltimore. Hey, let's get this show rolling. We're here tonight with our second guest. I know a lot of you know him in the community. One of the best coaches in Baltimore, probably in the state. I'd like to, introduce Coach Vaughn Devon, Merville High School's track coach.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Appreciate it.
So we're going to go back. We're going to start with going back a little bit in history.
Oh, wow.
Coach Vaughn, you are a alumnus for Merville High School. You ran track for the famous Coach Hendricks.
Yes, sir.
So let's, he's no longer here. Let's talk about, take a few minutes to talk about Coach Hendricks, what he meant to you, and the inspiration and how things were at Merville under his tutelage.
Yes. So I'm a 1997 graduate of Merville. Had the pleasure and the honor to run under Coach Hendricks. We called him Butter because the guy was just smooth, man. He was smooth. And, you see people who won championships and they feel like they have to have a statue erected about them. They want all this recognition. But he did everything under the radar, but people respect him. He didn't have to say a lot, but when he spoke, people listened. And for us, we just wanted to run for him. The workouts was great, but the camaraderie that he built for us to just come and be ourselves and make relationships with one another, that's the things that I remember, building these great memories with my brothers and my sisters in track and field, being able to go up and down the East Coast, around the country, to represent Baltimore City and Merville. It was a great feeling. So I really appreciate and I'm honored to be part of that legacy. I had the opportunity to win 4 state championships under Coach Hendricks. And most people can't say that. Under Coach Hendricks, the school has about 7 state championships. And so I'm glad to be able to continue that legacy.
And one of the things being at Merville, of course, I'm around, a lot of the alumni, a lot of the former track runners and the ones that ran for Coach Hendricks. One thing that I have seen is everyone's confident, but they're humble. So there has to be a reflection on what Coach Hendricks taught you guys.
Absolutely. So Coach will always put us in the fire. So we always knew there was someone out there that was better than us. And so, even though we would go and destroy the city and do well in the state championships, that there's this guy named Obi Moore or Dworsky Oldham that's the top kid in the nation that we had to line up against. So we had to remain humble. But yeah, Coach was able to deal with our egos and humble us because, we were experiencing something new. Most of us didn't have that pedigree where we was raised up winning championships. It was a whole new experience for us, and he brought us in, and he allowed us to experience that. So,
well, most kids, when they think of running track, they always think of the running portion.
Yeah.
So, what can you, or what advice can you give the big guys?
Oh, absolutely.
That want to participate on the track team? What advice would you give those guys?
Absolutely. So, track and field has events that helps athletes of all types. We have the throwers, we have the sprinters, we have the distance runners. Those kids that may feel a little bit out of place when they initially come, a good coach will put them where they belong, where they can be successful. And that's what it's about. I see some coaches, man. To me, it's torture to put a kid in an event running a mile where they don't belong in a mile. Put them in a place where they can be successful, where they're happy about their performance, and track and field does offer that.
Yep. 410-417-7067. If you have any questions or comments for Coach Vaughn or myself or Coach Said.
Did he run with the mayor?
Nah, that's my little brother. He's about 5 years after me.
Oh, wow.
But it's
okay.
all family though,
Okay, okay.
and that's the great thing. Like through Coach Hendricks' death, we had people from 1975 through 2010 come together to come and remember Coach Hendricks.
Wow.
And that was a great thing. And everybody said, oh, he was my gym teacher. He was my coach. And then we all had the same memories of him, you know, doing some great things. Coach Hendricks broke a lot of barriers in the sport of track and field, whether it be how we compete, how we travel. He did things that a lot of coaches wasn't doing that we see that are regular now. He was like the first ones to do it. He was a trailblazer. He was the first person to do that.
So, you know, again, those track runners at Mervo, they are definitely modest. They're definitely modest. It's a pleasure to watch you guys. I know when I first got to Mervo in 2005, I remember Durrell Wade telling me, because that's when the football stadium first opened, he said, man, this is a track stadium. We just happen to have a football field in here.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, the tradition of Mervo's track in Baltimore City and in the state means a lot. So now that you've graduated, you're ran, now you're back at Mervo, now that you're coaching.
Yep.
How does it feel to kind of take that baton that has been passed down to you?
Yeah, and I really appreciate the opportunity to do that. For me, it's about providing kids an opportunity and also giving them those memories that I felt like allowed me to go through high school, even in those rough times. But I don't want Mervo to fall. Like, I want us that standard to be kept, and we're going to keep going, man. Like, we had a great indoor season. We finished second in the state 2 years in a row for the second time, and we had kids who are top in the state, which means they're basically top in the country, because we have a very competitive state championship. And so, like, I don't want to drop the torch at all. I wanted to keep going. We're doing some great things on and off the field. Kids are going to college and scholarships. We have kids at the University of Maryland, Tennessee Tech, Morgan and Coppin, Bowie, on athletic scholarships, doing some great things. And so I'm very happy, and I'm glad to be home. I started coaching at Northwestern High School, which is no longer open, but that's where I first started and kind of learned the ropes there, and I bounced at Dunbar. And so, but when I had the opportunity to come home and continue the legacy of Mervo Track and Field.
Was that under Coach Molyneux, right?
Yeah, I was with Coach Molyneux.
Oh, you coach under him?
Yeah.
That's a legend, too. That's a legend within his own.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Coach Molyneux is...
he's an Olympian.
Yeah. Absolutely. And he's a legend amongst us. Like, you just see him, he's just like a regular guy.
Yeah.
But I learned some great lessons from him. If I would say my coaching pedigree would definitely would come from Coach Molyneux. He taught me so much as a coach and also as a teacher also. So I give him a lot of credit. I give him a lot of credit.
So not only being the coach for Mervo, you had the pleasure of coaching your own kids.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about the Devons.
Yeah.
You know, we have two that's in college.
Yeah.
I believe it's Juju.
Yeah.
Who's at Alabama State.
Alabama State. And
The oldest daughter.
And Chanel's at Xavier University. She may be transferring, coming back home. But I'm so proud of him. And the thing is, hey, I will say this. Coaching your children is not for the faint of heart.
No, sir.
It is not for the faint of heart. It's a tough thing. But it's the biggest joy I can ever imagine. It's the biggest joy I can ever imagine. And to have a school that has Olympians. We had James Carter, and we had Frankie Wright, who was a world champion, and we had others, Commonwealth Games, and to have my children to be some of the greatest track and field athletes to come out of Mervo, I'm like, wow, that's a big accomplishment. Like my son Vaughn, we call him Juju. He's probably the only athlete at Mervo to have a football state championship and a track and field state championship. So
Yeah, he is the only one.
yeah, he's the only one, and you know and for him to solidify his name as being one of the greatest athletes to come out of Mervo, I'm immensely proud of that. And my son Justin, who's a sophomore, he's a great athlete also. So we just gearing up for doing some more great things. Yeah, so I'm very proud of him.
So let's talk about Justin. The events that he's doing, I know I've seen some clips. I believe it's the triple jump,
Long jump.
that,
Yeah.
that he's in.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best in the state
Yes.
in the
yes.
long jump.
Yes.
Now, I think one of the one of the reasons we hear was he left off of the Baltimore Suns
Yeah.
athletes.
Uh-oh.
Top
Yeah.
athletes.
Yeah. So Justin had one of the top times in the 55-meter hurdles in the state, not just in the area, but in the state. And when it was time for them to receive accolades from Baltimore Sun, he didn't get picked. But we're gonna keep grinding. We're gonna keep grinding. He's a young man. He understands, and we're gonna just keep working. But I also had a young lady, Sierra Gray, who's the best shot putter, not just in Baltimore City, but in the whole state. I'm talking about private school, public school. She's ranked number one shot putter in the whole state, and she didn't receive any accolades also.
God,
So
come on, man.
So I'm really proud of her because shot putters already don't get a lot of love,
Right.
but for her to be the top shot putter in this whole state and not get that recognition, that kind of hurt. So
Man, and shot put, that's the heavy
yeah,
put under your chin, ain't it?
yeah,
Man, that thing tough, boy.
yeah.
Golly.
She's a very powerful young lady, and we're looking forward to her doing some great things also.
So what can we do? Because I know Miss Kendall Peace, who probably will be on our next show, she had the same complaint with girls basketball where none of her girls got any recognition from the Baltimore Sun. What is it, we talk about Fox 45, how everything that they do is negative with Baltimore City. But then when you look at the Baltimore Sun, a lot of the publicity comes from or goes to those private schools.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what is it that, I know we used to have the News American back in the day, and I know that the Afro, where, if you play football, basketball, or even baseball, you ran to get a newspaper.
Oh, yeah.
That next day because you knew
You wanted to see your
didn't
stats.
Exactly. So what do you think that we have to do as a community to kind of get back to that? Do we as coaches need to build a coaches association?
Come on, change in Baltimore.
Where we sit back and say, okay, here's a track association, here's girls basketball, here's boys basketball, and we have someone to highlight, or we give someone all those stats who now gives it to the Sun and says, you need to post this. What's your suggestion?
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. And, outside of that, we put targets on people, man. Like, we look at them like, okay, that person got it, we going after them. Like, we're competitors. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, we're going to go after them. We're going to prove to the world that we are the best. And that's what we're going to do. But it's great when parents and other people that support us speak up for us on our behalf. Because, as a coach, you want to stay in your lane. You don't want to ruffle feathers sometimes.
Yeah.
But you want to, you want your kids to be acknowledged for their greatness at the same time.
So again, Coach, I thank you for coming
Yes,
on. I know a lot of people don't want to see just a track meet. So when is it scheduled for the Baltimore City, championships?
So great news. Wednesday we are actually running at the Under Armour, the brand new Under Armour facility. So hopefully we can have our city championships there. We're trying to work on that. But our city championships is the weekend of May 11th. It's that Tuesday and Thursday. Right now it's scheduled at Dunbar, but we're trying to get at the Under Armour facility.
So you hear that, Mayor Scott? Under Armour.
Well, he's supposed to be on in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
supposed to have
we
Mr.
gonna
Mr.
pose that
Scott
question
on.
to him. So thank you so much, Coach Vaughn.
Thank you.
Again, check out track just in general. But if you really want to see some track runners, you really want to see something put on, please come out, support, check out Merville High School, but check out everybody in Baltimore City.
Yeah.
Come out, support.
Putting on
Let's
a
change
show.
the narrative.
We're going to put on a show for y'all.
Oh yeah, definitely. Looking for a state championship this year in the outdoor. We was close in the indoor, so let's go ahead and put it together, for the outdoor.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll be back
Thanks,
in
Coach.
1 minute.
Okay, another truth misconception that I hear a lot is that I can take pain medications and pain medications will solve my problem. It'll cure me. I won't feel the pain. So that is true. I mean, pain medications are designed to decrease the messages to the brain so you don't feel them as strongly or not at all even. And that, that's actually going to fix my problem. And again, that's just another misconception. The problem is still there. And what we find with patients that take pain medication is over time, they actually have to take more and more and more. So you have to understand that pain is a signal. When you have a problem in your body, we were designed that to be alerted that there was an issue. And that's what pain is. It's an alarm. And when we don't address the actual problem that could be in our body, the body is desiring to live and it needs to be fixed. And so the pain increases, that signal gets stronger. I often have a great analogy. A house is on fire and it starts off real small and the neighbor sees it and they come and they start knocking on your door and they don't get any response from anybody inside, and then the fire starts to increase, right? So when you're not fixing the problem gets worse, just like this fire. And so the neighbor starts to really, really panic, and they start pounding, howling.
Welcome back. This is our final segment for the day.
Final segment.
This definitely went fast this week. Definitely want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Tone Drone LLC,
Tone Drone,
Brainstream Media,
Brainstream,
Mo's Famous Seafood, and Whole Body Health Care.
Whole Body.
All right, our final guest tonight, man, really needs no applause. Doing it great in the community. Great foundation. Again, we try to highlight everybody that's doing well. He came in 2 weeks ago, saw our show, and we kind of picked up from there. He was like, man, we got to have you on our next show. And he was like, man, just call me. I'm here.
Yep.
So everybody, Changing Baltimore. This is Mr. Jarrell Wilson, excuse me.
Relly Rail.
And the foundation is For My Kids. How you doing, bro?
I'm blessed, man. Thanks for having me.
What's up, Rail?
What's up, Say? How you feeling?
Man. Good, man. Well, been knowing Rail a minute. Especially, and I met Rel through the late great Keon Carpenter, and Rel was he was Key's right hand man, and I know through the Carpenter Foundation when I used to go over to the building, Rel was in there working overtime, man. He maybe 10, 12 hours a day, man, trying to get it done, and so now Rel's kind of branched out on his own, doing his own thing, and we just really wanted to know because he pounds the pavement, man. I mean, pound the pavement. He's really pounding it for our young men and women out here today. So, Rel, just give us a little synopsis of your program and what you do and how you can be reached and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, man. First of all, I want to thank God. It's an honor and a pleasure being here, man. Without him, I couldn't do anything. Thanks for the introduction, fellas. Yeah, you know, me and Keon started this thing way back in 2009, where we just started getting guys, getting kids, young youth together. You know, getting them off the streets, like taking them to the field, working them out, mentoring them, going to get them something to eat, taking them home, you know, keeping them out of trouble.
Right.
Then it just started to grow. A lot of kids wanted to, you know, work out, wanted to get in the program. So as that grew, you know, we say, hey, let's get a nonprofit, because we don't want to, like, you know, get paid to help kids. We just want to help kids for a charity. So that's when we created the Carpenter House and for my kids. And that just blossomed into various different programs. Shutdown Academy, which SAID was a part of, which they had over like 200 youth in that program, which will help engage STEM activities, mentorship programs, and then help our young kids get to school and get out of the, you know, the issues with the truancies and the disrespect. So they were been doing that like way back in the day. Rest in peace to Keon. He passed, and when he passed, I just took it to another level. The mentoring became not only mentoring, it became therapeutic. You know, a lot of things became transparent. It was very visible. Like, all right, look, I gotta get this done. I gotta move a certain way. I can't just help a kid. I gotta help the family, because every time I take the kid home, the family still be in need. So we started to develop all types of services, entitlements, meaning they get Social Securities, birth certificates, IDs. A lot of people that need services struggle with them type of entitlements.
Right.
You know, they come in and say, I want housing, but they don't have a birth certificate.
Right.
You know, so we developed that. Then we developed the job readiness program. Then we work with the mayor's office to help get housing. So they give us vouchers for the individuals that's struggling.
Right.
So my team helped engage, put them in categories, and help get them housing. And we still work in the after schools, with the after school program, helping the youth. So there are various little programs that we still doing and still impacting the community.
So what keeps you going? I know it may be sometimes, you know, through your ventures where you just feel like, man, you know, I done hit a dead end. So what is it that really keeps you going?
Well, I got a passion for what I do, first and foremost, and just my life experience. You know, what you went through is, you know, basically like who you are. So for me, I'm like, I lost a lot of friends in the streets. I lost a lot of friends doing health issues. I lost a lot of friends just not really following the rules of engagement in life. So a lot of that keep me going. And one of the main things is I see the news every morning, man. Every morning somebody getting killed, somebody getting shot, some kid is in trouble. So, I mean, my wife get up at 5:30 in the morning, so the news is always on, Fox News, and they must promote everything negative, but I see it every morning. So I just look at that like, what impact can I play bigger than the one I played yesterday? So, my surroundings, my experience is what keeps me going.
Man, I get emotional because I'm just thinking about it. But, you know, I just love the fact that, you know, when after Key's passing, and, you know, well, you didn't stop, man. You just kept rolling, and every time I'm on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, I see you doing something always positive. And I said last week, well, 2 weeks ago when you was just here with the fam, I said, man, that's just not a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
And we had you on for a second, so I told the cast, I said, look, man, we gotta have this guy back, man, so he can kind of like let us know what he's up to, and because I know it's something great. So can you just like let us know how you could be reached and what you got going on like right now?
So tomorrow's the 18th. We have a financial literacy class going on from 6 to 8 at 2036 West North Avenue, which is where my building is, which is where I operate. It's called the Resource Center. May 1st, we have a home buyers program for all the ladies that were in the program that were struggling to get housing that I helped get housed. Now I'm trying to help them buy a home. So on May 1st, we'll have like kids night where they'll bring their kids in, and then we have the realtors and everybody in there educating them, giving them step-by-step what that looks like, so they can get them some type of hope of wanting to own a home and give them some type of direction. That's May 1st, 6 to 8 also. We have the Mayor's Office of Job Readiness coming in the next 2 weeks on Thursday. Everything's on the website, though. They do job readiness and job prep, which is shouts out to the Mayor's Office. They really like support my endeavors and the movements in the community. We have a summer program enrichment camp, 7 weeks, start July 5th. For 7 weeks, times from 9 to 6. Baltimore City gave me a grant to do that. Shouts out to the city, finally, supporting, helping me out. I appreciate that. I can be reached at www.formykidsbaltimore.org, or either you can reach me at my email address, info@baltimoreformykids.org. Facebook is For My Kids. Instagram is For My Kids. You can Google, comes up For My Kids, just with the Z at the end. I want to give a shout out to my team. I got extraordinary group of individuals. My mindset is, take ordinary individuals and make them extraordinary. And that's what they become in the community with me. Tanisha Parker, Sarah Wallace, Tammy Stokes, Jamae Burks, Terrell Carlton, the Princess Robinson, Dominique Artis. These individuals help get over 200 people housed, 70 people jobs, 60 people therapy. They help 15 to 20 kids, daily in the after-school program. Even when I'm in and out and I got meetings and doing things, they hold it down.
Hold it down.
So,
yeah.
For me, I am FMK, but they are For My Kids. I started the brand, but they actually developing the brand.
Yeah.
So I'm just blessed, man. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, man.
And this is what it's all about. So when our community says there's no outlets, when our community says I don't have the resources, they're not looking. He just mentioned 4, 5, 6 different things that they help out with. And he's getting money from the mayor's office to help you, the community, to be in a better position than what you are right now. So, definitely take advantage of this. Definitely support. Definitely look into it, because one day somebody's going to say, you know what? We're not going to give you any more money to invest in the community because you guys are not coming out. You guys are not supporting. So, tonight here on Change in Baltimore, we gave you For My Kids, who helps out families no matter where they are. We gave you I Am Me Project, who's helping out families and young ladies in the community. So don't say this show is just a bunch of talk. Don't just say this show is, Harry and Seth is just on here mumbling for about an hour. No, we're giving you resources. We're giving you things. So when we say Change in Baltimore, we are the solution. We're giving this to you. This show is definitely for helping and uplifting our community to be better. And we're bringing people on here to definitely give you what you need. So, again, sometimes it does get a little emotional because I don't think people understand what it takes to put this show on. I don't think they understand or respect what we do and who we're bringing in front of you. Amen. So again, great people that is here to help Baltimore be better. So
Amen.
Give them their flowers while they're here, because when they're no longer here, don't say, man, I missed out. We're telling you right now, every other Monday, that, hey, this is what you can do. So we have, contact information for Mr. Wilson and for Ms. Blake and anybody else that's been on this show. reach out to us, reach out to them. So again, before we leave, Mr. Wilson, let them know how they can reach you.
You can reach me at, we got the company line at 443-449-5619. You can also reach us at, www.formykidsbaltimore.org, info@formykidsbaltimore.org for email purposes. Instagram is For My Kids. Facebook is For My Kids. They basically the social media sites and the websites and the email. And you also can Google For My Kids. Everything is spelled out with a Z on the end.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so thank you again,
Thanks,
Mr. Wilson,
Ralph.
for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Love to have you
Thank
on
you
as
for
many
having me,
times.
man.
Many times you want to come on, you this is home for you.
Thank
That's
you for
right, man.
having me.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
home, so thank you. So Baltimore, man, thank you for having us in your homes for one more week.
Yeah.
Show went fast, as we said.
Yeah, yeah, sure did, man. And guess what? We'll be back in 2 more, like it or not.
We here,
Yeah, yeah.
baby. So again, we'll see you on May 1st with man Brandon Scott. Till
Yeah.
then, peace. We love you.
Peace.
We're out.
We out.
Not your last. No, that's your past. I'm Big Daddy.